So when they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop, I think that's what that means. I talked to a cop once who told me that when his wife left and his kids were gone and his family was gone, he had no purpose. So he said, I became an extreme alcoholic because there was nothing to do except sit around and just drink all day. And the dangers that you see, just one of many examples in terms of dangers for black men, is that you live in an economy where the white man decides what your purpose is going to be because the white man controls your job. So what happened was I met a black man one time. He was an amazing guy. He was my driver. I spoke for the what was the organization? It was the National Black Chamber of Commerce. And a guy named Ron Busby was the president. I really liked Ron. He was a great guy. And I was riding in the car back to the airport, and the driver of the car was a guy who was an entrepreneur. And I said, "So what do you do? Like, tell me about your business. Tell me about you." And and he said, "I don't have a profession. I just make money." I said, "Really?" I said, "Okay, so tell me more." So you know what he said? He said that in the 1960s, when he was growing up, he said, um, a lot of the men in our community used to work at the steel mill. My father worked at the steel mill with them. And suddenly, all those jobs just were gone. They all disappeared. And he said, so then all the men didn't have anything to do. And he said that's when the wino came along, the guy who would just sit around and drink wine all day because he didn't have a purpose anymore. Right. And so he said, I learned from that. He said, from that experience, I said, I will never be in a situation where somebody can just take away my purpose and ruin my reason for living and thriving. He said, so I decided at that time, I'm never going to get a job. I'm going to learn how to make some money. So he was hustling in 1,000 directions. I mean, the car that he was driving me in was his limo business. He had a car washing service. He did all kinds of. He had about three, four businesses he was running because he said, I learned how to make money. And I heard that statement from him, and I said, man, I think, in my opinion, I remember thinking this is exactly what every black boy and girl should be trained to do from birth. Don't just learn how to get a job, learn how to make some money. Learn how to make money. If you learn how to make money, then your job might be the best way for you to make money. And if that's the case, then great. But there's a bunch of other ways to make money besides that job. And the reason it's dangerous to only know how to make money through a job is because if they take the job, then they can be taking away more than just your money. And they're taking away your financial security. They're taking away your peace of mind. They're taking away your sense of purpose. They're taking away your sense of purpose. Like it's like, oh well, now I have nothing to do now. What am I gonna do? Oh well, let me just smoke some weed while I'm sitting around doing nothing. Let me drink some liquor. Let me go and do right. And so never let anybody steal your purpose. Your purpose belongs to you. You should shape what your purpose is going to be. And if you want my 2 cents, this is my 2 cents. I don't, I hope it's okay if I'm sharing this perspective. I'm not telling anybody what to do. I'm not here to be judgmental or self righteous. But if you want to look for your sense of purpose, typically you can find them in at least three major areas: your health, your wealth, or your relationships. Right. So maybe a person, your sense of purpose, I think that having a black family should always be a greater purpose than a damn job. I don't know who switched that narrative, but raising a healthy, intelligent black child or raising four or five of them is a greater contribution to your community than you going to that damn corporate job ever could be. And no disrespect to people who are doing whatever they're doing, but come on, man, are you kidding me? Like we really believe that that mother who's making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for six kids isn't adding more value to society than the person who just goes and delivers packages all day. I'm not saying that the package deliverer is not important, but my God, a good mother is not just important, but it is absolutely essential.